Blue corner, 185 centimeters, 103 kilograms. The All Japan Karate Heavyweight 2002 champion, Hajime Moriguchi.
Hajime Moriguchi is 29, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds, 0-2 in K1.
178 centimeters, 100 kilograms. The K1 Japan Grand Prix 2003 finalist, Yusuke Fujimoto.
Yusuke Fujimoto is 35'10", 234 pounds, 13-7, 0-1, no contest in K1. The second of our quarterfinal matchups here at the 2005 World Grand Prix in Hiroshima. 7,166 fans have sold out the Green Arena. The referee now giving last-minute instructions. And Mark, once again, with a record of 0-2, some fans may be wondering what is Moriguchi doing in this tournament. But he was called at the last minute to be a late substitute. So a chance for Moriguchi to really shock the K1 organization and the fans, but he definitely has a tough task ahead of him, taking on a 2003 K1 Japan Grand Prix finalist in Fujimoto.
Well, being an all Japanese karate champion, he does have experience of being in the spotlight. So, I mean, let's see if he can transfer that style into a proper kickboxing style here to get himself advanced in the K1 tournament.
It's been over 3 years since Moriguchi's been in a K1 ring. In February of 2002, he lost a unanimous decision to Nobu Hayashi at K1 Survival 2002, and right now Fujimoto, early in the first round, attacks that lead leg.
Well, Fujimoto's got a lot of experience, and he's a very explosive fighter. So basically, Moriguchi's guy really has his hands full in this fight.
And that one no contest on Fujimoto's resume is a result of a fight that took place earlier this year against American Carter Williams, when Fujimoto could not continue after an accidental foul which broke his nose. Williams advanced due to the survivor rule, and so a Pyrrhic win there for Mr. Carter Williams, who was able to advance thanks to the broken proboscis of Mr. Fujimoto.
Fujimoto's got a very wicked leg kick. He lands it with, he lands it with fierce intensities every time.
He has the chance here to advance to the Final Four. There will be a new Japan champion, as Amada was vanquished in what has to be considered a bit of an upset by Tomohiro in extra rounds. Now we see Moriguchi beginning to take the fight to Fujimoto.
Yeah, but Fujimoto's the kind of guy that when you hit him with a jab, he wants to hit you with a jab back twice as hard. I mean, he got hit with a leg kick, and he turned around and threw a harder leg kick right at Moriguchi.
Fujimoto just putting out that left hand, comes back with an overhand right as well. They go into the clinch. The referee will step in and force the break. There you see Hajime Moriguchi. Again, both sporting the same hairstyle for this fight, Mark.
Yeah, I guess they go to the same barber.
I wonder if they like lollipops and the catchphrase, "Who loves you, baby?" Man, that's a dated reference. Wow, Mark.
It's proved that you are older than me.
Thank you. Fujimoto now goes to the body with a middle kick. Shoots out that left, and now again attacks the body, and definitely a lot of bad intentions with that left kick.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to be in this ring for very long. He just wants to take the leg out, get the person out of there, and move on to his next fight.
And this is with that combination as Moriguchi on his bike, able to avoid the attack. Now Moriguchi looks like he's getting a little more comfortable as well with that jab.
Well, you know, Fujimoto's got his hands down fairly low and his chin's high, so I mean, the jab is the logical choice. You know, basically work him high and then start attacking the legs low.
10 seconds left in this opening round. Again, three 3-minute rounds. High kick by Fujimoto at the bell. Round 1 is in the books. You're watching the 2005 K1 World Grand Prix in Hiroshima here on the Fight Network. Welcome back to the 2005 World Grand Prix qualifying tournament in Hiroshima, Japan. Round 2, the scheduled 3-round quarterfinal matchup underway. Yusuke Fujimoto in the black trunks with the yellow tassels, taking on Hajime Moriguchi in the predominantly black trunks. And Fujimoto now goes to the body and then puts together a nice kick-punch combination to kick off round 2.
Nice little punch exchange there by both fighters, showing their diversity, not just kickers, but they can throw hands as well. Fujimoto has this kind of look on his face, like he's just looking for the number one, spot to land a punch. He's just looking for the big strike, in my opinion.
And right now, you're right. He's swinging for those fences, but missing as
he thought about the knee. He thought about the knee.
He was going to deliver what is an illegal strike, but as again, we've seen, depending on the official, they can sometimes let that slide, as the rules are a bit confusing in the K1 organization when it comes to these tournaments anyway. And there's Moriguchi missing with a right roundhouse kick.
As rules change, like we said, from event to event, it's really hard for sometimes the fighters to adapt.
Right.
And early on in the changes, you always see them throwing those strikes until they get used to it. So
nice cut kick there by Fujimoto. And you're right, Mark, you bring up a good point, because in the tournament, instead of the traditional 3 knockdown rule, there's a 2 knockdown rule, except for the final. So you're right, there's a lot to really absorb and focus on. And of course, the bigger fact that you have to win 3 fights in one night to go on to the World Grand Prix Finals, which is slated for September 23rd at the Osaka Dome. And that $48,000 winner's check at the end of the night is not a bad night at the office either.
Never a bad night.
Now Fujimoto just pawing with that left hand, trying to get his timing, trying to gauge that distance. Fujimoto not really respecting him that much, and he looked like he was going to deliver that overhand. Right there he does.
He's just throwing paws, though. He doesn't have them, not very linear, like we saw in the last fight. These guys tend to have very wild strikes.
We're into the final minute of round 2, and Fujimoto, though, is definitely delivering with more proficiency, especially those cut kicks, really starting to take away the lead leg of Moriguchi, who has to do a better job of either checking them or avoiding them altogether. Now he comes back with a cut kick of his own.
You can look at Moriguchi's front leg, how he's already got the the welts developing on his front leg. So I mean, if he does continue into this tournament, it's going to be very tough for the next fights, because in between fights, that leg is just going to seize up on him.
Once the adrenaline is gone, that's where you really begin to feel the pain. And you're right. I mean, that's a very good point, and obviously Fujimoto knows what he's doing. The veteran of 21 fights in K1, a 13-7 record with the 1 no contest, and as we mentioned, Moriguchi, a late substitute, having never won in K1, and right now cornered momentarily there by Fujimoto at the bell. And round 2 is now complete, and so far I would say that Yusuke Fujimoto is well on his way to advancing to the semifinals here, Mark.
He's definitely in the lead. He's been, throwing better hands, better legs. The front cut kick he's using has been real devastating right from the get-go. The opening bell, he's been throwing leg kicks like that one right there. And, I have him up 2 rounds to none in my books.
And there you see, again, deliver that high roundhouse. So yeah, doing a better job of mixing up his weaponry is Yusuke Fujimoto, as he's done better with the stand-up, with the striking exchanges with the punches, and of course, as you mentioned, that devastating outside cut kick really beginning to decimate the lead leg of Moriguchi. Final round begins. What do you think Moriguchi has to do a better job, though, of, closing that distance? What is he having to do? Come in at angles, obviously, because right now he's kind of standing square to Fujimoto, but what would you recommend if you were in Moriguchi's corner? How can he try to solve the veteran Fujimoto?
He needs to be quicker on his counters. I mean, when he blocks a kick, he blocks and then he watches like, wow, I actually blocked it. He needs to counter right away. He needs to, react to his opponent's striking. He needs to block and counter, block and counter.
Are you happy with his stance there? I mean, he just looks like, again, he's just really a walking target for Fujimoto.
It's a typical Thai stance. I mean, Thai boxers, people who train a lot of Thai boxing tend to have that straight-up stance. Whereas mixed martial artists and traditional kickboxers tend to be a little bit more sideways. He should maybe turn a little bit, but then again, it's hard to move the front leg when you're too turned. So, you know, it's you give up one for something else. I don't think he has the hand speed to be turned so sideways and to be a boxer style.
Right, and Fujimoto now again just pot-shotting him, and there's a left jab that connects on the chin.
Yeah, Fujimoto, I mean, he's taking it a little bit slower now. I mean, he knows he's ahead of 2 rounds, so I think he's just doing what he's got to do not to take any more damage because he knows he's advancing in this tournament.
But then, having said that, you do not want to get careless and lazy and underestimate your opponent because all it takes is that proverbial puncher's chance.
Yeah, in this sport, anything can happen, right? So, I mean, you got to keep your hands up, you got to keep moving. But that's the thing, like usually boxers or a lot of American kickboxers will kill the clock by moving their feet. These guys are still standing just toe-to-toe.
Yeah, definitely. And you can almost sense that Fujimoto doesn't really respect the punching power of Moriguchi. I mean, the way he's attacking him and, with those looping punches as well, although there was a jab by Moriguchi. But you're right. I think for the most part, Fujimoto is just wanting to coast to victory here, knowing that he, could have 2 more fights left tonight. So we'll wait and see as we are into the final minute, and there's a nice 1-2 combination by Fujimoto that scores.
And it goes back to what we mentioned earlier too, is that these guys are showmen, right? They know their role as showmen, the entertainers.
Well.
So they want the entertainment factor. They don't want to run around. They don't want to get booed. They want the crowds to like what they're doing and to get to participate and enjoy the show. So that's why they stand there and they go for it.
There was a cut kick delivered by Moriguchi, but again on the follow-up, not a lot of pep to there. There's a nice overhand right.
Good timing on that overhand.
Into the final 10 seconds of this contest, Yusuke Fujimoto in the black trunks with the yellow tassels, Hajime Moriguchi in predominantly black trunks. And I do believe, although we've been surprised already tonight, that Yusuke Fujimoto should be on his way to the semifinals.
Yeah, it should be a unanimous decision on that one. I mean, Fujimoto from the opening round was delivering devastating leg kicks. He dominated the boxing, and he took control of the ring. Nice overhand. I mean, kind of wild punches. They kind of glazed off each other. He closed his eyes on that one and just threw a punch.
That one really sent Moriguchi to the ropes.
But give Moriguchi some credit. I mean, being a late substitute coming into this fight, I mean, he took some serious shots and never ever backed down. He was always moving forward, and he went toe-to-toe with Fujimoto.
And again, that's a credit to what is known as the Bushido spirit, the way of the warrior in Japan, and that's really, like you mentioned, why the Japanese fans are such big supporters of the martial arts, mixed martial arts. K1 is the fighting spirit endemic to their citizens, and now they are brought to the center of the ring, the referee, and here is the official announcement. Not much of a surprise as Yusuke Fujimoto, via unanimous decision, improves to 14-7-0 with 1 no contest. Hajime Moriguchi drops to 0-3.